Hello and welcome to my tech fun. My name is Igor and I have another laser engraver for this video. A few weeks ago Banks contacted me if I want to do the review of the newest Ortur product, and I accepted it because I did several Ortur laser engravers and I never had that bad feeling that it is not finished product, so they all have very good quality. And this is the Ortur Laser Master 3, the third generation of this laser engraver. Just to mention a few specifications, of course one of the most important is that it is equipped with 10 watt laser module. It's a combination of two 5 watt laser beams into one. And very important, it is able to engrave with the speed up to 20,000 millimeters per minute. This means this will be the fastest laser engraver I tested so far. It has 7 safety protections, 10th generation power from mainboard. The size of the beam point is 0.05 by 0.1 millimeters. It has a professional application, built-in Wi-Fi and similar. So I think I should check what's in the box and assemble it and start with the testing. Certificates, user manual. Actually, this is not the user manual, only the packaging list, and we have the QR code where we can download the user manual. Oh, these frames are really nice. The legs are pre-installed, and the cable. This must be the front frame with the emergency stop button. It has a key lock. Second level. Safety glasses, some material for testing, zip ties, brush for the cleaning. This is the pipe, probably for the air assist. This is a razor module. The model number LU210A. And this is some kind of nozzle or something like that. Cables. Protection glass probably. Tools, open end wrench, some kind of pulleys, bolts. This must be connection for the air assist or air pipe. Timing belts. Another part of the frame. And probably the other side of the frame. USB cable. Power cable, antenna probably for the Wi-Fi, and this is good because I noticed that these ESP32 boards have the very weak signal, so external antenna is very useful. Power adapter. The output is 24 volts, 4 amperes. And this is the X gantry. Here is the stepper motor, which probably moves the laser module holder. And the box is empty. On this link I could find the PDF version of the user manual, but there is also a great animation and it is very usable, so I will create a shorter version of it, only maybe I will add just few comments. So first step is to prepare the frame. The one with the metallic switch is the back side, the emergency stop version is the front side, and this is the left and right frame. This hooks goes to the front side but from the outside. Now I suggest to place this upside down, only I am a little bit afraid to put this frame on this switch, so I will place something below it. Then I have to slide this cable through this gap. And then connecting the back and the right frame with these M4 bolts. And same size bolt on the other side. Installing the X-axis, don't forget this is upside down and the stepper motor is on the right side. V-slot wheels goes into this slot. And now installing this closed loop timing belts, just in case if I will ever need a replacement, 2M1100. Now I have to place this timing belt around the pulley which is here inside. To be honest, this design is a little bit too close for my taste. And I have to guess that it is around the pulley, but well, properly it's there. Same on the other side. Basically this was very simple, only for my taste it is a little bit too close, but probably it is more safer for beginner users. Now the other side of this timing belt, it will go around this pulley. The washer is from the inside. And I can place the tension on the timing belt with this set screw. And the same on the right side. Interesting, this is now the second printer which arrives with this structure. So probably I believe that here is the Y-axis stepper motor, and with long shaft it transfers the torque to these pulleys and timing belts. With this we need only one stepper motor, and we don't have that moving mass on the X gantry. That's why it is able to engrave on those high speeds. And now connecting the front frame with the M4 bolts. And same on the other side. Now I have this group of cables, and this one here goes to the main board. And next to it is the Y-axis stepper motor. And it is very close to the timing belt. I hope it will not touch it during the movement. Finally, I can turn it to the normal position. Now a few things what you will not find in the user manual or in the assembling video. So it is not completely flat, and that's why I don't like this kind of solutions. I prefer those solutions where I can tie those main boards when the frame is on its own legs. So now I have to play a little bit with these M4 bolts until it's flat. Okay, so I lose those 4 bolts just a little bit, and now I can press it, and now it's flat, and I can tie them back, and I hope it will stay squared. And now preparing the other side of these cables. I will need to use zip ties. Connecting the X stepper motor. And securing the position of the other cables with this second zip tie. And then we have this smaller cable which will be connected to the module. Let's prepare the laser module for the installation. In correct position, I can see here these gaps. So if I ever want to take this off, I have to press it here, and it's coming down easily. Then I am pre-installing this screw, and it will press this small plate and it will lock the position when I adjust the focus. Sliding the module on its place, and then I can lock the position with this knob. Connecting the cable with aligning this gap. This is the hole for the air pipe, and I will test this too, but I will install it later when I will start using it. And now installing the limit screws to protect the laser module from the damaging if it hits the frame. And now it is protected. According to the manual, they try to set the V-slot wheels tension correctly in the factory. Just in case if you want to set it your own, you can do it, but first we have to remove this cover. And for this I'm using this screwdriver. And then using the open-end wrench I can adjust these eccentric nuts. They are these two on the top side. And same on the other side, and after this the X-axis too. This is the cover for the X-axis, and 2 screws are there from inside. You don't have to remove them completely, just lose them and then you can pull up. This holder for the external antenna is rotating, so I have to remove this side panel, removing 1, 2, 3 and 4 bolts. And now I can tighten it from this side. And now I can install the wireless antenna. Now I'm moving the x-axis to hit the limit screws, and now I will insert the timing belts, and with this, x-axis will be parallel with the front frame. And same on the other side. There is one more cable which I didn't use. It says YRR, and there is the plug for it, and there is a switch, Y motor or YRR, and I believe that this is the cable for the rotary roller if you don't want to use the Y-axis stepper motor for the vertical movement, but the rotary roller. Well, I can plug now the power cable and the USB cable, which I will connect to the laptop, and I can start using it. And now it's time to test the possibilities of this 10-watt laser module. And first I will do everything over the USB connection using the LaserGRBL. And I will start with the engraving plywood. This was as a sample material in the kit. The thickness is only 1.6 millimeters, but for the engraving it will be good, but for cutting I will try thicker plywood too. Now setting the focus is very easy with this engraver. I don't need any kind of additional tools. This is a small leg. Unscrewing this small bolt, touching the surface, closing it, tightening the bolt, and now the focus is set to the top of this surface. Interesting, when I turn it on, it will do the first homing, and there are no limit switches. I believe it uses those advanced stepper motor drivers which can detect if the current, the signal for the moving is sent, but the moving does not happen properly because of the higher current. And with this they can detect the limits, and there are no need for the limit switches. In 3D printing world I tested more than 20, maybe 30 3D printers, but only one used this kind of stepper motor drivers, and that's the Prusa RCS. So there we also don't have the limit switches, but it can detect this crash with the stepper motor drivers. I'm starting the LaserGRBL software, which is free but available only for Windows. Mac and Linux users can use the Lightburn, for example. Now, if necessary, you have to install the CH340 driver. In my case, it's already installed. Everything is connected now, and I set the COM port and the baud, and click the connect. I don't have to unlock, it's already unlocked. I just check the moving. So it is prepared for the engraving. The focus is set and I can load the file. I will just start with this logo. Speed 500mm, M4 dynamic power, and I will try with the maximal power. A size, let's see, 20 by 20mm. Create. If I move the axis with these arrows, I have to set new 0 position. Boundary check. And now the fan started with the working, which is quite loud. Okay, I think I will need more experimenting because I didn't plan to cut it. Well, this is really promising, very strong laser, because I didn't plan to cut it, only to engrave it. And this is first time this happened to me. Of course, only 1.6 millimeters, but interesting. Actually, I did a mistake, not 500, but 5000 should be the speed, so I will repeat this. But 5000 millimeters per minute. Very nice sharp cutting with the minimal vibrations. Now for the better quality properly, I would suggest to reduce the speed And also with this you have to reduce the power of the engraver. Very nice result. And now let's try to engrave here some kind of grayscale image, but first I need some experimenting. I'm opening the grayscale image and I'm using line-to-line tracing, 10 lines per millimeter, at the maximal speed and the maximal power. And this is the real-time speed. Finish in 2 minutes and 43 seconds. And this engraving looks great. There are some horizontal lines, but they are in the wood itself. And even my camera recognized that this is human face. And now let's try to cut the plywood. Or actually I already started. So it looks like on 500 millimeters per minute, full power, it can cut 1.6 millimeters without any problems. This is 3 millimeter thick plywood, and I always like to lift it during the cutting so I can see the beam from the other side. Let's set the focus. Well, I could even see a flame for the moment, so very burnt edges, but now let's try to use the air assist. I have this fish tank air pump, and I will compare them side by side. Let's see the effect of the air. And this is the result, so definitely much cleaner with air assist than without, but the difference is not so big. Here also this one is a little bit cleaner. Let's try 5 millimeter plywood. And this time the difference is much bigger, so definitely this is much nicer with air assist, and this is without air assist. I can see a lot of burnt edges here, and in my experience the air assist helps a lot with the cutting, but not with the engraving. And now I want to cut this 3 mm MDF wood. This is very hard for cutting, and I want to cut it on 100 mm per minute and to count how many passes I need until it's fully cut. Only 2 passes for this MDF, and as you can see I experimented a lot with this piece of wood. This is for example with Ortur 2 long focus and short focus. I think I needed here maybe 5 or 6 passes. So 2 passes with 10 watt laser module and new record set for this MDF. This is 3 mm black acrylic, and for this I will need 2 passes with 5 watt diode lasers. And now it should be cut with 1 pass on 100 mm per minute full power. Cutting it 1 pass without any problems, and very nice and sharp cutting. And now engraving directly on the stainless steel, and I will engrave here the logo of this Ortur Laser Master 3. So let's clean it with isopropyl alcohol. Very nice sharp lines. This is actually with Ortur Laser 2 5 watt lasers with short focus and long focus module, and this is with this Ortur Laser Master 3 10 watt diode laser. And I can feel that the surface is actually engraved, melted, so probably this is very permanent engraving. Now in my previous video I presented this Brilliance laser ink, and with this we can engrave stainless steel even with the dyed lasers, and we can get these nice black surfaces. But I got several questions that is this better, or what results we can get with just with the black marker. Well, I will do this comparison now side by side. I will just prepare here the surface, and I'm starting with the marker. Let's clean the surface with isopropyl alcohol. Very nice black surface. And now Brilliance Laser Ink, only I have to prepare the surface, cleaning with isopropyl alcohol. All settings are the same, only the speed will be now 4 times faster. Well, I hope it's visible on camera too. So using Brilliance Laser Ink resulted a darker surface compared to the marker, and I could engrave this 4 times faster. But if you're on the budget, basically you can use the marker and it will give you a similar result. And just a simple durability check, and as you can see, both cases they look very durable, and I couldn't scratch none of them. Now let's try connecting to the Wi-Fi. We have the external antenna. First step is installing the Laser Explorer application. Open. Let's go. Do I need an account? Maybe later. Let's try visitor login. Then I have to connect to the Ortur Wi-Fi. The password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now let's try to edit here. That's the one. Some steps are not presented here. For example, after connecting to the engraver, I was asked to select my home network and enter the password. But basically I just followed the Wi-Fi connection instructions. Confirm. And now everything is connected. Let's go to the control. This will be the new origin. I copied one NC file, I prepared it on a laptop, and I copied to the SD card. Let's see if you can see it. This is the content of the SD card. MyTech1 NC. One time, confirm. No boundary check or something like that. Or just run. Confirm. This is the real-time speed, and the engraving came out exactly as expected with these given settings. And it's finished. Now I found some parts in the application which didn't work for me. For example, this text engraving. I enter my text and I want to go to the next step, but somehow this application is stuck here. So this Wi-Fi connection works for me. That's not so comfortable, and I couldn't work with these other possibilities, but I could engrave something from the SD card. But for me this is not too comfortable solution, but more about that in conclusions. And now the conclusions, and I will talk first about what I like with this Ortur Laser Master 3. Basically everything. This is great design, functional and aesthetic. This means that, for example, stepper motors are not on moving part, the y-axis is here. Of course, the x-axis is on the X-gantry, but at least it is not on the module like some other designs. I'm curious who will be the first company who will create core XY mechanism. In that case, both stepper motors can be fixed and we can get much lighter X-gantry and much higher speeds, if necessary actually. Another important thing that with this center of the mass of this laser module is exactly here on this alloy extrusion. With this we have less vibrations. Maybe I would like to see a wider alloy extrusion here. In that case it would be more stable, but I couldn't notice many significant vibrations even on those higher speeds. I noticed that Ortur is not just copying other companies, so they have very unique solutions they own. For example, I know this belt tensioner, it is completely new to me, but I tested at least 10 laser engravers. Not so comfortable, like, you know, with a rotating knob, like on NS3 V2 for example, but it is small and compact. And I appreciate that the fan turns off when the module is not in use. And this is the most comfortable solution for setting the focus. We don't need any additional tools. Everything is here. Here we have this small leg, and just loosening this one knob, set the focus and tighten it, and it's ready. Now there are a few small things which I didn't like. For my taste, basically this design is a little bit too close. So I don't see the pulleys, I don't see the V-slot wheels, but of course I'm sure that most of the users will appreciate this, because basically this is safer, less chance that your finger will be squished between the, I don't know, timing belt and the pulley or something like that. This fan, as I mentioned, it turns off when the model is not in use, but when it is used, it is very loud. So I think they could find some other solution to make it a little bit quieter. The only part which I feel that it is not completely finished, and that's the Wi-Fi and application connection. I noticed it is not so comfortable for using, and some parts of that application didn't work to me. Maybe they are working, but somehow I couldn't make them work. And this SD card is a little bit uncomfortable to use, so it is a little bit too deep in this frame. And about this Wi-Fi connection, well, as I mentioned earlier, for me, I would appreciate more if it would be possible to completely have possibility for offline engraving, because usually my engravers are down in the basement where I don't have any kind of Wi-Fi signal. And I would like to prepare the files here in my flat on my laptop and just take with SD card with me, place it inside, and I need some kind of screen or something like that, and start with the engraving, and I don't have to bring the laptop with me. Well, that was my experience, and if I have to rate all the engravers I tested so far, I think this is the best so far. And you saw the MDF cutting. This laser module is very strong, so this is the first time I could cut that MDF in 2 passes. If you have some other experience, write me a few lines in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and happy and safe engraving!